All right, welcome back to another edition of Spitballin' Sports Podcast. I'm your host, John, with my good friend and co-host, Scott. What's happening, Scott?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
All right, beautiful weather, huh? Gonna be 75 tomorrow?
I know, that's insane. That's just crazy. I can't believe this is happening, but I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. It's November, we're November 5th or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
A little chilly out by now.
Yeah. What do you got back there? Got a beautiful sign. Before I get to our guest, that sign behind you.
I haven't found a place I haven't figured out where I'm going to put it yet, but my boss made this for me.
This is it. That's nice. Cool. Very nice.
Nice little neon bill sign. Yeah, it's pretty slamming. I like it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, I'll find a home for it.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. All right. I don't want to keep our guest waiting too long, but he's someone who's been with us before, right? He's a Leafs reporter for HockeyBuzz.com, co-host of Off the Post Radio, writer for Full Court Press and the Fischler Report, and he's a friend. And it is Mike Augello. Hey, Mike.
Good afternoon. Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Mike.
All right. Enjoying the weather. Unreal.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I have to rake some leaves tomorrow, so that sort of puts a damper on the nice temperatures.
Yeah, it's going to be 75 tomorrow. That's unreal.
It may be the last time we get to wear a T-shirt for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. Mike, you know what? Before I get into the deja vu part of our conversation, I wanted to talk to you, get into the NHL, of course. I kind of got it set up as a good and the bad. I want to go good with you first.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw some at you, and you tell me what's good.
Okay.
And I'm amazed. The Devils are exciting. What do you think about them?
They have a lot of talent offensively, guys like Jack Hughes and Jesper Bratt. The big question with them has been defensively and goaltending. This year so far, they're getting decent goaltending out of mostly Vitek Vanacek, but Mackenzie Blackwood has had, I think he just got injured, so they're going to have to call up somebody. And that's been the problem. Blackwood has gotten hurt, and they really haven't had an answer. But right now, they're surviving. Right now, they're surviving on the talent of their offense. But, I mean, if they don't get good goaltending and if they don't play decent defensively, they'll probably fall back to the pack. But right now, their offense is carrying them.
Yeah, outstanding. Big comeback against the Oilers last night.
Yeah, 2 goals in less than a minute, I think it was. So, yeah, I mean, but Edmonton isn't exactly the greatest defensive team in the world, and they don't exactly have good goaltending, as you know.
Yeah. No, I know. We'll get into that. That's going to be part of the bad, because I got to ask you something there. The other good, and it's really good. I mean, you got to be happy in a way for them and for their fans, the Sabres. It's been good. What do you think?
Yeah. It's been, I think, exceeding expectations. They showed that there was something there in the second half last year, and we talked about it. Tage Thompson had a career year. They signed him to a long-term deal, and the only thing I was concerned about when they did was the fact that they had a year of sort of protection in the sense of he had another year before he was a UFA. And after coming out of nowhere and scoring 38 goals, I would have taken the conservative approach and said, prove it to me and then I'll give you the big money. But they gave him the big money, and right now he's staying healthy and he's scoring like crazy. He's a matchup problem for most teams because he's a big, rangy center and he's got a good shot. And they have a lot of talent. I mean, Cousins is coming and Middlestad is coming around and Jack Quinn. And I mean, they have especially Dahlin and Power on defense. There are still a lot of holes that I think will prevent them from making the playoffs, namely the goaltending. I don't think Eric Comrie and a 41-year-old Craig Anderson can hack an 82-game schedule, but there's a lot there. The building blocks are there, and now they have to sort of fill in the gaps. And once they do, they're going to be giving the teams at the top of the Atlantic Division a run for their money.
Do you think that maybe this pushes the management to spend some money? Because, I mean, I know that on their own player, but even like free agency, something to add.
Can they trade for somebody?
Yeah, that's what they have a lot of young assets. They have a lot of now. The thing is, if they're in January, they're contending for a playoff spot, and they think they need that goalie, even if it's a rental, to put them over the top. Then I think Kevin Adams, because they haven't made the playoffs in 11 years, so they're it'll be going on 12 if they miss it this year. So if they see an opportunity and it doesn't cost them an arm and a leg, then I think that they would do that. But again, I'm not sure. I mean, they had a great October, and they're playing really well right now, and confidence with a young team goes a long way. I mean, let's see where they are around Christmas time. If they're still in it, then I think management would take the path of, okay, let's add to this group and see where we can go.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Scott, it's been unreal. I mean, he has, I think, 2 hat tricks for Tage Thompson.
Yeah, I saw that.
Scott, he's like 6'7". He's enormous. He's really big. Yeah, he's really big. I mean, the Leafs have a 6'7" guy. I'm waiting for him.
So that's why people have so much trouble with him then, obviously.
Yeah, and he can move.
Are there many guys in the league that are that size?
Mike?
A few. Yeah, I mean, Chara is 6'9". No, but he just retired. So yeah, no, I mean, there's a few players, but I mean, Thompson, like I said, Thompson provides a big matchup problem for teams because he's so big and rangy. He's not slow. He's got a pretty decent skater. So, I never thought he would be. It was just an accident that Don Granato moved him to center last year when Middlestat got hurt, and he's just taken off. And, that's one thing. Granato knew him back when he was a kid playing for the U.S. national development team, and that prior knowledge really, came to the forefront. And they say that's the thing. That's the unspoken thing with the Sabres. The big secret is Don Granato. Don Granato and Ralph Kruger was a friggin' disaster for this team. It was a bad hire. He did stupid things with good players, like try to make Rasmus Dahlin be a shutdown defenseman when he's one of the more gifted offensive defensemen in the league.
Why did he try to change players so much? Their style,
because it fit into his style, it fit into what he thought were the important things to be. I mean, I still, he was behind the signing of Taylor Hall, and when you go out and you have a $9 million left winger who scored 40 goals in Jeff Skinner. Gee, it makes a lot of sense to go out and sign an $8 million guy who plays the same position and then take Jeff Skinner and put him on the 4th line because you don't think he plays defense. Completely asinine. He deserved to be fired, and I doubt he ever gets a job in the NHL again.
Yeah. No doubt, man. Here's another good. Here's an incredible good. This guy might score 80 goals. McDavid already has 12. Mm-hmm. And he's already got 12 goals, got 12 assists. It's only 11 games. I mean, I don't know. Seriously, I think he's going to score 60. He might get 60.
He's a fantastic player, but again, a quick month. I mean, Bo Horvat has 10 goals.
That's true.
And Austin Matthews has 4. So, if things balance out, I mean, McDavid could go through a cold streak. He could get hurt. He's been hurt before. It's a fantastic start. But the thing I keep drawing from that is Draisaitl and McDavid are at the top of the league, and that team is only 7-4 with 2 of the best forwards in the league because they still can't play defense effectively and they don't have top end goaltending. If they had top end goaltending, they'd be unbelievable. But they're right now, I think they have former Leaf Jack Campbell who has struggled early on. Stuart Skinner is a young goaltender who I think he's going to take he'll be the number 1 by the time the playoffs come around. But they rely too much on McDavid and too much on Draisaitl. And if those guys don't score, and they can on most nights, but if they don't score, they don't win.
Yeah.
Also, they're an injury away from being
Nobody. I mean, most teams are like if you're Tampa Bay and you lose Andre Vasilevsky, you're in trouble because then Brian Elliott's your number one goalie. Or if you're Edmonton and you lose McDavid, or if you're Colorado and lose Nathan McKinnon, now that you don't have as much depth as you did last year, you're in trouble. So most teams, if they lose one or two of their key players, they're in big trouble.
There's another good, and this surprised me, and maybe I shouldn't be. The Bruins have won like 10 out of 11 or something. And I didn't see that coming. Did you, Mike? Did you expect them to be this good?
Nobody did. I mean, the two big teams, the two leading teams in the East and the West, Vegas in the West and Boston in the East. I mean, Boston, all these people who were predicting Ottawa and Detroit and maybe even Buffalo to move up and contend for a playoff spot, every one of them was relying on the Bruins to sort of fall back because they're getting old, because they had a lot of injuries. Marchand and Charlie McAvoy and Grzelcyk were all supposed to be out until Christmas. Well, Marchand's back. Grzelcyk is back. McAvoy's skating, so he'll probably be back in the next couple weeks. And they're 10-1, and they're a juggernaut right now. They're scoring. Krejci came back from the Czech League, and he hasn't missed a beat. Neither is Bergeron. Pasternak is on a salary drive because he's looking to get paid. So he's at like one of the top scorers in the league. And former Sabre Linus Ullmark is the number one, and he's playing really well. So everything's falling into place for the Bruins. But again, it's 11 games. We're talking about 1/8 of the season. So could they very easily go on a slump? Sure. So, but it's a good start, and there's nothing you can take away from the way they're playing. And Vegas, I mean, everything's going right for them. Logan Thompson, a guy who was stepped in at the end of the year because of injury, he's playing really well. Him and Aiden Hill is the goaltending tandem. Their defense is healthy. Eichel is playing great. He's healthy. So, I mean, right now, the big problem with them, and they missed the playoffs by a point or two at the end of the season, was injuries. They were devastated by injuries constantly, and this year so far, knock on wood, they're healthy.
Yeah, when they played, the first time I saw them was against the Leafs, and it was pretty dominant. To me, it was a pretty dominant performance when they played Toronto. I mean,
Toronto had played, I think, the night before, so that was sort of an excuse. But yeah, they shut them down. They controlled them, and with the type of players that they have, not only Eichel but Stone and Marchessault and Carlson, they're a deep team. If they're healthy, they're going to give everybody in the West a run for their money.
Yeah, so that is my good portion. I mean, the Hurricanes, I think they're like 7-2. I mean, they're good. I mean, I would not surprised. Are you with them?
No, they're solid. They're solid.
Yeah.
The big question with Carolina, and it wasn't answered in the playoffs last year because all their goalies Freddie Anderson got hurt. Ranta got hurt to the point that they had to play a rookie in goal, and then Ranta came back. They probably would have beaten the Rangers had Anderson if he was healthy, because he had a fantastic year last season. But that's still the unknown question. Can they get through the postseason with Freddie Anderson as their number one goalie in the playoffs? And we know something about that as well.
Yeah, we do. We're with Mike Augello. He's our Leafs reporter for HockeyBuzz.com, writer for Full Court Press and Fischler Report, co-host of Off the Post Radio. And I think you do Leafs Convo too, right?
That's true. Yes.
Yep.
I do. I'm busy every day.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. I apologize for stepping off screen. I had a dog problem.
No problem at all. Now we got to go to the bad. And before I get to the one bad, I want to get to the first bad. Shane Wright, 4th overall pick. We all know we watched him really, he should have been some people thought he'd be number 1. He goes 4. He gives that ugly look to the Canadians. He's not playing, right? I guess he's only played 5 out of 11, maybe under 7 minutes a game. What do you think of this? I mean, he's either got, and this is the point, he either has to go to the OHL or stay in the NHL. What do they do with this kid?
Well, Darren Drager talked about it today because it's an ongoing issue. Because if you're not going to play the kid, then put put him where he can play. But the thing is that he may be in a situation where he can't learn anything more from playing in the OHL for Kingston. But he may not be ready for the NHL. And unlike during the during not the lockout, but during the COVID situation where you could send underagers, because the OHL had been shut down to the AHL, like Jack Quinn played in the AHL as an 18-year-old. They can't do that. The only thing they can do, and Drager talked about it, was they can loan him to the AHL for a couple weeks on a conditioning stint. If he sits out 5 games in a row, and he had sat out 4 before he played last night for Seattle in their win over Minnesota, and he played 13 minutes. So right now, I don't know if it's a disagreement between Dave Haxtell and Ron Francis, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to have a kid up there and not play him. So what the rumor is, what they might do is basically send him to the AHL for a conditioning stint and then loan him to Hockey Canada for the World Junior. And then after the World Junior is over with in early January, then either he goes back to the OHL or he plays more for Seattle. But really, I mean, developmentally, it's a bad thing. They should be letting him play, either let him play or let him go back to junior. It doesn't make sense to do what they're doing right now, which is sort of spoon feeding him.
And to get all this cool stuff and information like we're getting, follow Mike, right? At Mike in Buffalo on Twitter. You get all this kind of information daily. He's always tweeting. One other bad before I get to the big bad. Well, deja vu bad. Jack Campbell, what's going on? Is he, I don't even know. Is he hurt or is he just playing poorly or what's the deal?
He's not playing well. But I hate sounding like this because I like Jake Campbell as a guy. He's a nice guy. He deserved to get paid after, his story is, fighting through, after being a top 10 or top 11 pick in a draft in 2010, didn't get through in Dallas, then went to Los Angeles, got to the NHL, Toronto, gets the starting job, makes an all-average goaltender. I think I was not amongst the number. I don't know if he can carry them through the play. Basically a